Good evening, folks, and a very, very warm welcome to you. Thank you for joining us here on the Geelong Region Soccer Show, proudly brought to you by our major season sponsor, The Gordon, and also our business advertising sponsors, Curva Coaching, Geelong Just Turfing Instant Turf, and as of tonight, JH Bookkeeping, and also a very, very special mention to Ozcom Technology, who are the proud episode sponsors of tonight's show. And they have nominated Geelong Soccer Club to be the featured club on today's show. So we welcome all fans of the Geelong Soccer Club who previously haven't tuned in to the Geelong Region Soccer Show. We certainly hope you do stay on as regular viewers. Now, that doesn't mean we're not going to be covering other parts of the football spectrum here in Geelong. Indeed, we will. And we've got lots to get through in our news desk. But also later on, as part of Female Football Week, we will be speaking with the Football Victoria Coach Education Tutor and Coordinator, someone very well known to the Geelong region, Emily Sutcliffe. As part of our Geelong Soccer Club themed episode, we'll be catching up with the Junior Technical Director out at Winslow Park, Andy Elderton. And on the weekend, we had the start of the Junior Boys NPL season. We also had a very thrilling senior game on the weekend there on Saturday night, and Geelong defeated Altona City. Great result for the Lions. And we'll be catching up with the head coach of the senior men's NPL team, ANTE, MORIC, a little bit later on in the show. As I said, lots to get through tonight, folks. So strap yourselves in for the next 60 or so minutes. And we'll start off with a couple of words from our major sponsor, The Gordon. Stay tuned, guys.
Your future is in your hands. There is a whole world waiting for you, and your choices determine how you will impact it. At The Gordon, we recognise this. That's why we champion hands-on learning. Get your hands dirty. Grab what's in front of you. Learn by doing. Turn your passion, your ideas, and mould them into your creations. You'll be supported the entire way. You'll grow your skills in small classes, guided by teachers who are industry experts. You'll learn in state-of-the-art facilities or out in a real-world workplace setting. Your hands-on experience will increase your understanding and put you ahead of your university peers. You'll graduate work-ready, and you'll graduate sooner, with a huge range of qualifications to choose from and support services to enable your success. Now is the time to continue your learning journey. At The Gordon, your future is in your hands.
And that's it, time for the news desk. And as we said, it's lots happening this week. Female Football Week, celebrating women and girls in football. Not only is it here in Victoria, it's all around Australia. If your club is doing anything special or recognising the prominent females, whether it's the players, the coaches, the administrators, and especially the volunteers, do pop something in our chat section and let us know what is happening at your club. We'd love to be in the know of what is going on. All right, let's start off with the VPL results over the weekend. We had Springvale White Eagles host North Geelong Warriors. 1-0 to the Warriors, an important win, that one. Agwe Maniel scoring for the Warriors. That's his, I think, 6th goal for the season. Geelong Soccer Club came up against Altona City. And we've got some footage from that game. There we go. At Winslow Park on Saturday night. And may I add, it is always a pleasant experience on Saturday nights at Stead Park, or Winslow Park as it is called now. And very important result there, 2-0 win to Geelong. Anthony Tchaikovsky and Solomon, the other goal scorer there for Geelong. Tchaikovsky scoring in the first half, and Solomon Osman, that's it. He scored the second goal in the second half. All right, let's look at the other results there in Victorian Premier League. Women's, Geelong Galaxy on the Sunday travelled up to Princess Park in Parkville, and courtesy of a Vanessa Mazaraki goal, came away with a draw against Melbourne University. 1-1 was the result there. Turning our attention to this weekend's fixtures in the VPL. First of all, let's look at the men. A tough game for the North Geelong Warriors, who have moved up a spot from 5th to 4th, courtesy of that win over Springvale White Eagles. They travelled to CB Smith Reserve to take on second-placed Brunswick Juventus. And it's going to be a tough game, this no doubt. The Juventus are doing very, very well at the moment. They've got a game in hand and they're equal top at this stage. So they've got a game against Werribee City that has been postponed, that will be played at a later date. The Warriors are exactly 6 points behind Brunswick Juventus. So a win against Juventus will give the Warriors an opportunity to move closer and closer to the top of the competition standings. Geelong take on Eltham Redbacks, an even tougher proposition when they travel to the competition league leaders. That game kicking off at 5 p.m. at Eltham North Reserve, and Geelong moved up a couple of notches after courtesy of that vital win over Altona City last weekend. In the women's competition, Geelong Galaxy, who are in 9th position, they will host 10th placed Banyule City. And that game kicking off at the 3:30 p.m. at Myers Reserve on Sunday. And it's an important game. A win here will lift Geelong Galaxy into the mid-table section, or middle part of the table. Later on in the show, we'll be talking to Geelong Galaxy's very own Emily Sutcliffe, who is also the Football Victoria coach, education tutor and coordinator. So we'll be catching up with Emily a little bit later on in the show. Let's turn our attention now to the Men's State League. Round 6 results played last weekend. Some good results, some not so good results. Karai managed 2 second-half goals by Owen Shepherd and Billy Argyros. Apologies there to Billy. But it wasn't enough as Banyule City ran out 3-2 winners. Geelong Rangers were leading 3-0 against bottom side FC Strathmore, when Strathmore turned it around and scored 4 goals to come away and steal the 3 points and come away from Myers Reserve with all 3 points. Kai Williams, Anthony Piratina and Tom Rush scoring for the Rangers. Surf Coast, well, they've suffered their first. They had to drop their points sooner or later, and they did it in incredible fashion, losing to Brunswick Zebras 5-1. Ezekiel Hawkins scoring the only goal for the Coasters. And the incredible result, the incredible trend of so many goals being scored in the Surf Coast games continues. Unfortunately, the Coasters were on the wrong end of that 5-1 scoreline. Bell Park against Westside Strikers in State League 4. 2-1 win over Westside Strikers at home, courtesy of Lucas Rebagliati, who scored 2. Now, remember this name, Lucas Joachim Rebagliati Andreas. He is the scorer of those 2 goals. He's now kicked 6 goals in 2 games, and he's the reason why Bell Park are doing extremely well at the moment, jumping up into second spot on the standings in State League 4. Unfortunately for Bell Park, Nicholas Giorgio did get a red card. In other games, Barwon recorded their first win of the season, courtesy of a brace by Milton Bailey against West Point away. Bailey has now got a total of 4 goals this season, and great to see Barwon finally getting a win. Point Cook defeated Deakin Ducks 4 goals to 1. Sam Hines, the only goal scorer for the Ducks, his second of the season. Now, an interesting statistic. Sharpshooter Sam Wyeth, he scored 5 goals in the first 2 games. Deakin won both those games. He's not scored in the last 4 games, and guess what? Deakin have lost all 4 of those games. So when Sam Wyeth is scoring goals for Deakin, you can bet your bottom dollar Deakin is winning. Keilor Wolves, struggling Keilor Wolves this year. They defeated Lara United 3-0 at home. And that means Lara now dropped to the bottom of the competition standings, yet to win, yet to register. They managed a draw against Bell Park, that 0-0 scoreline, but they're yet to register a win. And last but certainly not least, in the Men's State League competition, Ocean Grove managed to come away from Maidstone United 2-2. David Favetta and Lucas Jester scoring. Favetta scored from the penalty spot. It's his 3rd goal of the season. Okay, moving along to the fixtures now. Round 7. I can't believe it. We're almost a third of the way through the season. This Saturday, big number of games being played at home. Corio will take on 7th place Western Suburbs at home. 3 p.m. kickoff at Hume Reserve. A win here will lift Corio above Western Suburbs, I believe, on the competition standings, and certainly move them away from the relegation zone. Geelong Rangers travel to 8th placed Western Eagles at the Polish Sports Complex. A late evening kickoff, 6:30 p.m. kickoff there at the Polish Sports Complex in Ardea. In State 3, Surf Coast will be looking to get back on the winners list when they take on 8th place Bundoora United at home on Saturday evening. And look at that, 4 teams in State League 4, all 4 playing their games at home. Deakin Ducks taking on Westside Strikers. Their game kicks off at 3 p.m. Lara United hosting Melbourne City for the first time at the Lara Recreation Reserve this season. A late kickoff at 5 p.m. Hopefully, fortunes will now change for United when they start to play their matches at home. Barwon are home to a very, very tough proposition, a very tough team. Table toppers, the undefeated Balmoral. It's going to be a tough game for Barwon, but they'll be looking to make it 2 wins on the trot when they host Balmoral at Grovedale Reserve on Saturday evening, 5:15 p.m. kickoff. And this should be an absolute corker of a game. This one, the match of the day in State League 4. 2nd place Bell Park taking on Melton Phoenix, who up until recently were on top of the ladder. So they've since dropped to 4th spot, and Bell Park Sports Club is the venue for Saturday night's big showdown. Kickoff is at 6 p.m. Tarnee United, who are in 10th, they host our Ocean Grove, who are in 5th. That game will be played at Humming Boulevard Reserve, not resort. In Tarnee, it's Humming Boulevard Reserve. Okay, and Women's State League this year, as we know, we've only got 1 Geelong team in the Women's State League competition, and that's in State League 1, where North Geelong Warriors are doing well after losing last week to Clifton Hill. This week, they scored an emphatic 5-1 win over Caroline Springs George Cross at City Vista. Namiki Yamamoto scoring 2 goals. Sienna Wrench, Maya Pehar, and Louisa Kump all getting on the score sheet as well. This week, Mill Park will be hosting the North Geelong Warriors. Very tough game for the Warriors. They come up against Mill Park, who are currently in 2nd spot. But a win here will thrust the Warriors above Mill Park, and they'll be really, really getting close to the top of the competition standings. That game will be played at Partridge Street Reserve, and that game is kicking off at 3 p.m. Well, that brings us to the end of our news desk, and it will be time now to take a commercial break, a short commercial break. And when we return, we'll be speaking with Andy Elderton, the Junior Technical Director at Geelong Soccer Club. Folks, don't go away. It's the Geelong Region Soccer Show, proudly brought to you by The Gordon. Are IT issues slowing down your business? Well, Ozcom Technology Group is your solution. A global leader in information technology services and solutions, the Ozcom Technology Group was established in 2009, and we've since grown to become one of the most distinguished IT companies nationally, with our head office right here in Geelong. From on-site IT support, cybersecurity, cloud solutions, web design and business phone systems, we provide expert IT support and services to keep your operations running smoothly. Our team of professionals believe that IT solutions can be achieved only by close collaboration with our clients. We listen to what you have to say about current needs, typical frustrations and expected outcomes. Speak to us today to learn how Ozcom Technology Group can help your IT system and put your organisation one step ahead of the competition. Drop us an email at support@ozcomtechnologygroup.com.au or call us on 1300 720 503. And welcome back to the Geelong Region Soccer Show, thanks to Ozcom Technology Group. This week we've got a very special Geelong Soccer Club themed episode. And our next guest, he's been the Junior Technical Director at Stead Park, or Winslow Park as it is now known. For now, this is his third year. And it's always a pleasure having Andy ELDERTON on the Geelong Region Soccer Show. And without further ado, a good evening to Andy. Andy, welcome to the Geelong Region Soccer Show. Well, welcome back. How are you?
Yeah, thanks for having me on again, Tonchi. Yeah, great to speak to you.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure, mate. Always a pleasure. Yeah, this is your third year, as we mentioned. Speaking off air. How is it going? Like, obviously when you first came there, I remember talking to you. You had a kind of a long-term, medium-term, short-term plan, etc., where you'd like to. And I think most technical directors usually have that kind of a sequence of events, I guess. How's it been going according to plan with what you're trying to implement down at Stead Park?
Yeah, I think when I first came in, there was the huge issue I think we spoke about a bit last year was about retention of players.
Yeah,
not just attracting players, but actually keeping players at the club. And that, this year we had record numbers at our trials, and we've made a lot of effort to produce players from within our Metro program. Our Metro program is kind of overseen a little bit by Bob Shabeski and I. That 9s to 13s, and I've kind of jumped in the last 18 months looking at the 12s and 13s to produce players to our NPL program. And I think 14 of our current under 14s junior boys NPL team for this year all came through our under 13s program from last year. So that's kind of what I came in to do, and thankfully we've been able to do that. And also because of the good results that the club have been having at junior level, especially with this year's under 17s making tier 1 again, we're actually recruiting players from various regional clubs, and it's been a huge success, I think, from where we were 3 years ago.
Well, on the weekend, the junior boys NPL season proper started. We had 3 of the teams in Division 2, the under 14s, the 15s, the 16s, and the under 17s who are in Division 1. Let's go through the under 14s first. They played the Alton Redbacks. How did they go?
Yeah, they got a 3-3 draw today. They're just about consistency with that group. As I said, they've come through from our Metro program. We've kept faith with a number of boys that we think have got great potential. We've got a great coaching team with Mike Clancy, and who's a local coach and has been at the club for a while. And obviously Jeff Fleming, who is the assistant coach at Avondale, a licensed coach. So, we're really excited about that group and, their long-term potential.
And they were very unlucky to not get into Division 1 at one stage. They looked like they were going to squeeze in, but they just didn't make it in the end. But there's a lot of young potential. And as you said, majority of them have come up through the Metro ranks. So I guess that just illustrates how important the Metro pathway is to that pre-NPL pathway, isn't it?
Yeah, it's huge for us. It's huge. We've not got the luxury of a Melbourne team that might get 800 people turn up for trials. We have to develop players ourselves with a long-term program, and that's what we do. We've got some exceptional coaches in our Metro program. We've got our under 12s. Last year's under 12s, Adam Sayer. They won the title. The under 13s, they come second. They're just about the consistency of bringing young talent through and wanting to stay at the club. And this year again, we've got 3 very good under 12 teams that have got some real potential in there, and that's what we want. We just want to be able to keep them players and keep building them. And even if they don't make into our junior NPL program, we've got a very good under 14s Metro team this year with Joel. And again, we're keeping an eye on them. We're inviting some of them in to train with our NPL boys. Our NPL coaches all go in and take sessions with our Metro teams to give them some experience of working with more experienced coaches. So, yeah, it's huge to what we want to try.
Now, the 15s, they also took on the Eltham Redbacks away, as too did the under 16s. And all of those 3 teams, the 14s, the 15s and 16s, are in Division 2 of the Junior Boys NPL League. Let's move on to the 15s. How did the 15s go this past weekend?
Yeah, they got a 3-2 win today. Very excited about them. We've got a number of new boys that have come from us from local teams like Geelong Rangers. We've produced some really good, talented youngsters, and we've managed to get 3 or 4 of them into that squad this year, and they've made a real difference. And under Frank, very exciting group that are quite new together, and again, we've got high hopes that we're going to get some real talent.
Good start by the 15s. And the under 16s, they also, as we mentioned, are in Division 2, and they took on Eltham Redbacks away. How did they go?
Yeah, a narrow 1-0 defeat today under Senad. Again, they've played very well. They've struggled hugely with injuries. We've had that team's been decimated. Both strikers that we signed at the beginning of the season didn't kick the ball at all in the gradings, so it's been very difficult for that group this year. But they've battled through, and I've got high hopes in the second stage of the season that we'll see them.
Yeah, but last and certainly but not least, the showcase team at Stead Park, the under 17s, a very, very talented crop of youngsters there. They've made it through to Division 1, and they took on the might of Western United at Ironbark yesterday in the opening round of the Division 1 competition. We've got some video footage here as well of a previous game involving the 17s. Tell us a little bit, first of all, how did they go against Western United?
Yeah, they got beat 3-0 today, all goals in the first half. But again, really competitive, and that's what we want in this group. These are the best players in Victoria that playing against, and that's what we want for them week in, week out, for them to be able to develop. And then, there's a number of players in this that realistically next season will be 23s and pushing to be seniors. Dining Moon, who is now playing in our senior group with ANTE. He was playing in this team last year as a 16-year-old, now playing in our seniors. And we've got a whole raft of players, that will hopefully follow Shining's footsteps into the senior group next year. Players like Hudson, who just scored that goal, and Charlie Harper, a goal, and Ranger, and Josh, and Huddy. There's loads of great players that we've got real potential in that group that we're looking to push on in the second phase of the season, training this coming weeks with the 23s. So, we give them lots of opportunities to show what they can do in the next stage of their development.
Yeah, it's as we said, saw some footage there of the boys doing in action. Now, what's your thoughts, mate? You've been involved as a technical director of juniors for quite a while. You're involved with the TIDC as well, with the state teams, etc. So you're probably very, very qualified, I guess, to answer the question about the under-19s this year, the introduction of the under-19s league. I think from afar, it looks like a real positive, but there are teething problems, obviously, for a lot of clubs, just trying to field enough players for the 17s and then the 19s. But, speaking to a lot of clubs, particularly down in Melbourne, the upside is it's given a lot of youngsters an opportunity to, in some cases, play 2 games in the one weekend. How do you see it from your point of view? Is it a plus? Is it a negative? Is it somewhere in between for the first season?
I think it's somewhere in between for me. I think you've got to look at it. For us, it's a good stepping stone. We just haven't got the number of players in the region. That's kind of the problem that we've had to be able to field a 17s, 19s, 23s consistently of a high level. And we didn't want to overload our 17s players early in the season by playing 19s and 23s. We will do that in the second half of the season. I think also from my point of view, I have to look at how I'm developing players for a senior environment. And for me, the 17s, they played Western yesterday. They're going to play Melbourne City next week. And for them kind of games, the standard and the intensity and the technical ability of them games is probably going to give them a better grounding than playing an under-19s game in VPL2 at this stage. And I think that's the balance. When you talk to under-19s coaches in Melbourne who are playing at NPL level, like obviously I work at Thunder. When you're working at that level with that elite of players, then for that at that NPL level, then yes, it's a huge step up and a test. But for our boys at the moment, currently that crop of 17s playing the likes of, as I say, Western and that week in, week out is hugely
Makes
beneficial.
a lot of sense, and thank you for that answer. Really appreciate that. You mentioned you are an assistant coach at Dandenong Thunder. So apart from the fact that you clock up a lot of kilometres between Melbourne and Geelong, and mind you, the other side of Melbourne, I guess you've got that ability to see some of the best junior products at NPL level at Dandy Thunder, but obviously also you see the best junior products here at Geelong Soccer Club. Are we far off it? Are we, as far as development, talent, and all of that, are we, the region here in Geelong, or more specifically the Geelong Soccer Club, are we far off the level that,
No, we're producing really good players. I think we're all aware the step up between 23s and senior level is huge. There's no doubt about it, and it's obviously I'm very lucky to work in that environment at Thunder because, we're currently we're third on the ladder. We've got some unbelievable visa players. You have to be very good, but we've got boys that have come through exactly the same process. We've got Jay Romanowski at Thunder, who's 18 years old. He's playing week in, week out, and we've got equally good players at Geelong who can make that step up. And and to be fair to ANTE, he gives youth a great opportunity to show what they can do. The club are very supportive. The board, everybody at the club is really excited about the young players that we are pushing through the system. Alex Giorgio was playing under 18s last year. He's now regularly in the first team, and that step from that VPL2 to NPL1, the players can make it. Definitely, and especially at the age they are, getting so much senior experience is valuable for them. And the fact the club support it so well is huge advert for our club.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the fixtures for next week. It's going to be most of the games will be at home. In fact, all of the games will be at home. I believe it's the 14s, 15s, and 16s will be playing, if I'm not mistaken, Bendigo City. Is that correct? Yep. Yeah. And then the 17s will be, as you mentioned, playing Melbourne City. So that game kicks off at 3 p.m. next Sunday. I know it's Mother's Day, but if you want to watch some top-class youth football, definitely get yourself down to Stead Park at 3 p.m. next Sunday for Geelong versus Melbourne City, Division 1 of the under-17 boys. That should be an absolute fantastic game. Mate, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate and your insight into, I guess, the level of junior talent that is available within our own region. And it's great to see there's not only just obviously players being developed there, but you seem to me giving me the impression a lot is being done on the development of coaches as well.
Yeah, it's huge. And it's not just us. I mean, we're very blessed that we've had a number of players come in from local clubs like Surf Coast and Geelong Rangers and all other local teams are producing really good, talented young players that then come to us. And I have to say the coaches that I've got at Metro, Mini Roos level, and definitely at Junior NPL, Gary Sened, Frank, Michael and Jeff are top quality, and they really put everything in. And we work really closely with Romeo and Robbie Casher in that senior group. We've got a real good cohort of a coaching group that all want to work together. really supported by the board, really supported by all the volunteers, and everyone does everything at our club. It's a real community, and it'd be wrong to say it's a community club, because the professionalism and everything they do behind the scenes is second to none. Unbelievable facilities, as you know, Tonch, you've been there loads of times, and it's definitely been going in the right direction for the last 2 or 3 years. So really proud of everything.
Well, it certainly looks like you're doing a fantastic job, and keep it up, mate. Keep it up. We'd love to see success here at a local level. Andy, thank you for joining us on the Geelong Region Soccer Show. We look forward to having you again, hopefully before the end of the season.
Anytime, Tom. It's really nice to speak to you. You take care, mate.
Andy Elderton, the Junior Technical Director at Geelong Soccer Club. Folks, when we return, we're going to focus on the senior element of the Geelong Soccer Club, and we'll be talking to the senior men's coach, ANTE MORIC, who will be joining us straight after these short messages from our sponsors. Don't go away. It's the Geelong Region Soccer Show that you are watching.
The world is yours. So work hard, and you can have whatever it is you want.
Welcome back to the Geelong Region Soccer Show. Well, we just heard from Andy Elderton, the Junior Technical Director at the Geelong Soccer Club, and all the great things that the junior department is doing. Let's shift our focus now to what is happening as far as the senior men's side of things. And we're joined by a very good friend of mine, and it's always a pleasure having the head coach of the Geelong Soccer Club's senior men's team, ANTE MORIC. ANTE, good evening and welcome to the Geelong Region Soccer Show. How are you?
Hi, Toncha. Always a pleasure to be on, mate.
Yeah, love chatting about football, and especially local football. And mate, a good win on the weekend, a fantastic result against Altona City at home. We got a little bit of footage as well, courtesy of Chris Juresko there at the Geelong Soccer Club. Take us through the game, and how did you see it?
Yeah, look, mate, we knew we were going to have a difficult game. Altona City have got a fairly strong squad, experienced squad. So they've been in this division for the last couple of seasons. Obviously, we just got promoted and have come up. So we're in a bit of a transition mode. But in the last 2-3 weeks, I'm not looking at the results. I've just seen a resurgence of the group, Back to what we were a little bit of last year, a little bit more confidence, a little bit of more player stability. And it's starting to show. And in the last couple of weeks, obviously, with a couple of wins, it's, you can look at that as well. But I just feel that we might be turning the corner the right way. It's a little bit deja vu, like last season. About this time, started to turn the tide a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a close competition. I mean, I'm looking at the ladder now. You guys are now in 7th position, mid-table, and only, 2 weeks ago was in relegation zone. But of course, it's still early days yet. So, no doubt the makeup of the ladder is going to be completely different. North Geelong have jumped into 4th position, and a couple of weeks ago, they were kind of hovering mid-table, just a few points from the relegation zone. So VPL 2 is quite an even competition, I guess, apart from some of the teams right up the top. But how have you found it from State 1 last year jumping into VPL 2 this year? Is the difference dramatically different to what you were accustomed to in State 1, or is it, fairly competitive and even just like it was there?
Look, I think there are two things. One, you're playing against better organised teams.
Yeah.
That's definitely what we've found, playing in these last, 12 rounds. Secondly, it's a little bit more intense, Taunchy. I think some of the players it's taken them a while to adapt to just different moments of the games, transition here is a lot quicker than it was in state one.
Yep.
So if you do make it, and also they're learning now, and we've learned very quickly because it's happened to us this season, you make mistakes in the wrong half, the opposition, they capitalize. Whereas last year, you could probably find a last-ditch effort tackle or get back or the opposition striker may be missing. They don't miss in this league.
No.
So big one that we've talked about and we're working on. And in the last 2-3 weeks, we're improving it slowly.
Yeah. Well, obviously you can see the results, and as you said, you're not looking at the results, but I guess the results do speak for themselves. It's that byproduct of what's been happening and all the work behind the scenes. And one thing that you have been saying is you have been playing in patches really, really well, and the team has been sort of starting to get together. It was just a case of them maybe concentrating for the full 90 minutes. Do you feel that is happening, that it started, as you said, it's turned the corner? Is the focus, the concentration, the application one of the big parts of the recent success in recent weeks?
Yeah, definitely, Torchy. Top question, and concentration you touched on there is a massive one. When I'll go back to last year quickly, where in these sort of games, it wasn't such a high level pressured game in the majority of them. There were your 2-3 games where you had good games, good, solid, intensive games. But this season, they're more so in every game. So your concentration needs to be good. Also, what's been a part of maybe our slow start is that we had a little bit of interruption in pre-season. We had a couple of players not being able to do the pre-season. A couple of players were injured.
Yep.
We had local boys that, that, like I said before, the transition's a big one. So they're adapting and getting better now. We've got a lot of young boys. It takes time for them. They can have a good game. And then for 2 or 3, they're caught in their shell. You know what I mean? So all these different factors. But concentration for the game, which is key. It doesn't matter what age, has been a big one that we've spoken about, and we need to improve.
Yeah, now we've talked with Andy a lot of the young players that are coming up through the ranks. I know last year you gave a lot of young players their senior debuts, but with young players, there's always that issue of inconsistency. Now you've got one very, very experienced head there up the top in attack, Tommy Semi, and he's been on fire this year. How important has he been to the team's overall on-field development and I guess the on-field leadership as well?
Yeah, Tommy's been great. Tommy's an exceptional human being, really good guy. We all know that he's a talented football Taunchy. He's been around the traps. The experience that the young boys are gaining from him and are still gaining is invaluable. He's like an uncle, that wants to help all the younger brigade coming up. He's got that experience. He's got leadership. So he's been invaluable, and we need him to be, because he's one of our most important players in our setup, I guess.
Yeah, and he's scored I think 6 goals so far this season, which is a pretty darn good effort, and he seems to be hitting his straps right at the right time, as are the rest of the boys as well. Next week, tough game. Eltham Redbacks away. They are definitely very, very commanding at the top of the competition standings. But in the last month or so, they've lost a couple of times, so they aren't invincible. They can be tested, and they have been tested. Are you going to approach this in any different way than you normally would any other game, or is it kind of you're just going to try and play a natural game? Without obviously telling too much tactics.
Absolutely. Look, there's nothing to hide. Look, at the end of the day, we all know pretty much how each team plays. Eltham are top of the table for a reason, because them and Brunswick have been so far the best 2 teams in the league. So there's no question about that. But I focus on Geelong. I focus on our mindset, the way that we want to play, the brand of football that we want to play. So we'll go to Eltham away from home. I'll say this. As a next player, and I think I speak as for my group, when you go away from home, there's like a pressure's fallen off your shoulder.
Yeah.
Express yourself. I'm sure you understand what I'm trying to say. And I feel that that's what we need. And we need to play against good opposition. When we play against good opposition, I feel that my team, they find a belief.
Yeah.
And they find something within them that they've got, but they don't usually bring out when it's against maybe a lesser named team or so forth. So we go to Eltham confident, not overconfident.
Yep.
Playing our way, but I think we've got to set up right.
Yeah,
I think it's important that we set up right defensively. I'm not a defensive coach, but the principles of the game allow you need to have a defensive shape, a good one. So we'll set up that way, but I'll let them express themselves the way that we do. And in Tommy and Bruno coming back now, our Brazilian visa, Giovanni, the Italian, and there's a few other players there. Look, I don't like mentioning singling out names because we're a tight group, but they've been really improving in the last 2-3 games.
Now, I'm just looking at Eltham's recent run of results. A draw this weekend against Brunswick Juventus, 2-2. Then they had a draw against lowly Springvale White Eagles. Then they lost to Nunawading City 4-3 at home, mind you. And then they defeated Pascoe Vale, who've really, really struggled 4-1. So, as I said, they don't seem to be in super good form at the moment, but they are a bit vulnerable. They play on an artificial pitch, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
So are you going to look at maybe having a training session at, say, the Leisure Time Centre or something like that during the week just to get the boys kind of readied for a match on an artificial surface?
Absolutely, and I think that we're organising that as we speak. So our Tuesday will be our training session and Thursday. So we're looking at Tuesday getting a ground. I'm not sure where it is at the moment.
Yeah.
But we need a synthetic because that's what we're going to play on.
Yeah.
Notably because it's just a different feel, playing on natural grass and a synthetic. Yeah. And they play on it, so they understand it. That's
yes.
They know it clearly like we do the grass. So that's the focus on Tuesday, that we get a good solid session in and understand it's all about how the ball moves, how you get under a ball on a synthetic compared to grass,
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's for sure. Well, I guess that will bring us to the halfway mark of the season. And obviously, depending on the outcome of this weekend, you'll probably be somewhere in the middle of the table. Is that where you kind of set yourself an aim at the start of the season, or was it high? Was it kind of a little bit low? Is it exceeding expectations?
Taunchy, I think that when you look at those things, the table usually doesn't lie. And you got to sort of understand and accept that, you know what, that's probably where we deserve to be. And I'll be honest, that's probably where we are right now, where we deserve to be. I don't think we deserve to be higher than where we are or lower than where we are. So, I mean, that sounds a little bit, funny, but I think I'm comfortable being where we are.
Yep.
And it's just been a tough transition. But you know what? Like I said, the last 2-3 weeks and all season we've played pretty well. It's just those main moments where we've just haven't been concentrated enough. And I think if we can change that in the moving forward, it all seems well. The squad's excellent. The club's fantastic. Yeah, the people are great. I've got no questions, in relation to all that. It's all positive.
Yep.
Now it's up to the group. And Taunchy, it's not sometimes, they have to be accountable. Can't always be coaching staff and so forth. Yeah. The players know their roles. We're clear with them. So now it's up to them. What do they want?
Yeah.
So that's the target we set,
Yeah. The big litmus test, I guess, for the players on the park. And as you say, all players love to challenge themselves, certainly at this level. They're going to have a big challenge against Eltham Redbacks, but we certainly hope you guys will come home with all 3 points in tow. That will be the aim, that's for sure.
Oh, it'd be great, Taunchy. Look, all we can do is train well this week, prepare as we do. Don't change anything. If it works, it works. I'm not one of those people. I like to just go the normal pattern and come on match day. That's their grand final. Yep. That's how I assess it. As a player, that's where you want to be on a Saturday night, Friday, whatever. Here in Melbourne, there's a lot of Friday games. We play Saturday. Go out and show the people, show our supporters, but most importantly, believe in yourself. Yeah. Believe in your teammate. That's the focus, the culture that I'm setting, the environment that we set at Geelong. And if we do that, hey, the performance will look after itself and the result comes.
Exactly, like we say, the byproduct of good coaching and hard work on the training track. Ante, thank you so much for joining us on the Geelong Region Soccer Show. All the best for not just Saturday night, but for the rest of the season as well.
Thank you, Taunch. Look forward to coming back on, and it's been a pleasure.
Good on you. Ante MORIC, the coach of the senior men's team at the Geelong Soccer Club. By no means is that it for tonight's show. We've got more to come, so we're going to take a very quick ad break, and when we return, it's time for our third guest for tonight. And as part of Female Football Week, we'll be speaking to Football Victoria coach and coach education and coordinator Emily Sutcliffe. She'll be joining us after this short break, folks. Don't go away. Just Turfing Instant Turf is a local family-owned and operated company which guarantees top quality products and service. Whether you need turf for a small front garden or a large landscaping project, Just Turfing Instant Turf are the turf installer experts you can trust. They supply and install for most major landscapers in Melbourne and Geelong, with a wide range of premium instant turf and a full suite of turf care products. Chloe and the team at Just Turfing are sure to have all your turf needs covered. Their Melbourne, Geelong and Victorian regional distribution means they can supply your area with fresh cut turf installed the same day, hassle-free. Turf options that are available include Eureka Kikuyu, Santa Ana, Tiff Tuff, Sir Walter Buffalo and Sir Grange. For more information, contact either Chloe on 0431 571 558 or Josh on 0457 174 111. And welcome back to the Geelong Region Soccer Show podcast. And this week, Football Victoria are celebrating Female Football Week and celebrating the involvement, the contribution that women and girls make to our wonderful sport. And there are many, many activations as part of that. And one of the programs that are going to be launched this coming week is a program called Coach Her. And it's committed to increasing the number of female coaches across all levels of the game. And someone who's behind this program and someone who knows quite a fair bit about this and someone who's very well known to the Geelong football community is my next guest. And she's the Football Victoria coach, education tutor and coordinator. It's a very warm welcome back to the Geelong Region Soccer Show, Emily Sutcliffe. Emily, good evening and how are you?
Yeah, thank you.
Hopefully, hello, Emily. Can you hear me?
My connection stays okay. I can hear you. Yeah, all good.
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much. You're away for the weekend, so where you are, it's quite remote, and we do appreciate you taking some time out of your time away to come on the Geelong Region Soccer Show. It was your birthday last weekend, so happy birthday for that, and you're celebrating it. But there's a lot more other things to celebrate as well, and that is Female Football Week. And as I mentioned, you're heavily involved in this through your new role, because the last time we had you on the show last year, it was a completely different role. But you're the Football Victoria coach, education tutor and coordinator. Tell us a little bit more about that role and what it entails.
Yes, I work with the coach education department. So we're committed to putting on courses. Obviously, you've got your traditional CB, A diplomas, pro diploma, but also we've got our foundation courses and our CCC program as well. So going out to local clubs in Victoria and helping new and experienced coaches with that. So it's been a fun few months getting into this role. It's lots of changes going on in clubland and through coaching courses. So yeah, really, really exciting. It's been for me personally as well.
Now you're involved with the NTC program up at Football Victoria. Does that mean you have to travel up and down every day, or are they allowing you to sort of work from home for a little bit as well?
For the start, I did. So we've made some changes because, as many people will know, from Geelong to over to Melbourne in any capacity is a long drive, and especially with the night road works and everything that's going on. So I have changed slightly with that commitment. So I think after playing the NPL as well. For the past 2 seasons, it's time for me to stay a bit more local. So yeah, I'm over in the office a few days a week, and then I'm working from Geelong remotely for a few days as well. So it's a really good balance for me at the moment.
Awesome. That's fantastic to hear. Now, the Coacher program, you're behind this. This was something that was your brainchild. Tell us a little bit more about this program, and apparently it's launching this week. Is that right?
Yeah. So we're actually launching on Saturday. Two other of us in the coach education team. So I can't take all the credit at all. It's been everyone. Everyone's chipping in to help make this happen and make this idea come to life. So as you can see off that screen, we obviously did a bit of research into how many female coaches we've got at the moment in Victoria, and it's only 14%. So to stay in line with our strategy of reaching 50-50, we decided to come together as a coach education department and think, what can we do? Fortunately, we've got some great funding partners as well. So we wanted to remove the financial barrier and try and understand what other barriers might be stopping females or women and girls getting involved in coaching. And obviously with the growing paths for our women and girls across Victoria, obviously booming after the Women's World Cup and the success of the Matildas, we've got to try and keep up with that from a coaching perspective as well. So we came up with the idea of a sustainable program with Coach Her that will support females no matter what part of their journey they're on. So if they're new and inexperienced, we can bring them in, get them through their foundation courses, their mini Roos courses, support them through the CCC program with Rob Taylor as well. Or, people that are wanting, like myself, between a B diploma to an A diploma, pro diploma. There's obviously a big financial cost to that. Remove any barriers for women so that we can really bring that rate up and get it close to 50%.
Yeah, it's quite a difficult task in this day and age, isn't it? With the financial constraints of things, C licensed coaching courses alone are so high and exorbitant at the moment, and sometimes you get the club supporting it, sometimes you don't. So it's there are a whole heap of different barriers there. That's for sure. Now, one of the complaints in regional Victoria, particularly in Geelong, has been the fact that there just hasn't been that accessibility to coaching courses. In other words, if you're wanting to do a certain course, you often have to travel to Melbourne to do that. How is that changing? Is there, for example, has there been a lot of coaches, female coaches in particular from Geelong, really interested in this Coacher program to take it up? And is there a possibility that down the track we could have sessions down here in Geelong?
Yeah, definitely. So we put out the Coacher probably about 3-4 weeks ago now, just to see where we're at in terms of interest. Mm-hmm. And overnight, we had overwhelming amount of responses, which is just huge for us. So we knew that the program is really needed and can really make a difference as well. So we're just that application will stay open now as well. So it's never going to be like an open close or windows of what comes available. It'll just be we'll get in touch with people as opportunities become available, and we're hoping that will include regional courses as well. Since I've started with Football Victoria, we actually had a foundation of football course run in Geelong. I think it was March from memory, February, March, that ran at Howard Glover. So we had 24 coaches there football, so they'll all be eligible to go to the C diploma now. So hopefully we can repeat that again. And then we've had a foundation of goalkeeping here as well, which is difficult to get because we're and obviously tutors are most likely coaching themselves as well. So we've got to work around the availability of clubs and everything else. So so it's definitely challenges in there. It's not going to be perfect straight away. We've got to work towards that, and we work with Football Australia as well. So Football Australia oversee the coach education tutors, and there's an interview process to go through for that as well. So we strongly encourage anyone regionally that would want to get involved as a tutor to be able to help roll out these courses. They can also get involved. That'll just be on the coaching tab on the Football Victoria website as well, where you can apply. I think it's from anywhere from a B diploma, C diploma down, and then there's just a drop form and things to fill out. And Football Australia will be in touch about an interview process, because the more tutors we have, the more courses we can run effectively as well. So is running, which is everyone's goal in the coach education department.
Well, yeah, and that's very important, because with the numbers, at record numbers as far as participation, I know a lot of the clubs around Geelong have had to shut their doors. And look, facilities is a big problem, but more so than that, I think it's the lack of coaches, lack of accredited coaches, lack of qualified coaches, and I guess this is one of those things. So we implore anyone out there, whether it's a parent, whether it's a player, whether it's even someone who's a teenager looking at maybe improving their own game, taking up mini roos coaching, that will do a huge thing. There's all the information as far as the coacher program, www.footballvictoria.com.au/coaches/coach/coacher, and you can get all the information there. And also, as you said, Emily, there's a lot of information, a lot of resources there on the Football Victoria website as well with regards to that. Now, let's talk about your playing. You at the moment, you're doing very well at Galaxy. You're doing not too bad. On the weekend, they drew 1-1 against Melbourne University, and this week at home to Banyule City on Sunday. How's the season been so far, both personally and as far as the team, in your eyes?
Yeah, I think we've had some mixed results so far. I think for me, obviously playing NPL the past few seasons, being brilliant from a player's point of view. I've really enjoyed that. It just goes back to what we said about the commitment, and obviously the travel and trying to work alongside that as well is pretty difficult. So I think for me this year, I was really committed to just being as close to home as possible, and just still being able to compete at a decently. We're speaking with Ryan. I knew that I wouldn't be able to commit to as many trainings as possible just due to the new role and everything else. So yeah, they've been really flexible with me at Galaxy, which has worked well for me, and hopefully can make a positive difference with the team as well. But yeah, it's been going well. A few mixed results, few ups and downs, but it's a fairly new team as well as coming together. We've obviously got younger girls involved as well, so really trying to help nurture them and help them with this. It's all coming together slowly, but it's still been a good challenge.
Yeah, and big game this Sunday up against Banyule City, who are at the moment third last position. A win could catapult you guys into the middle of the competition standings there in VPL women's competition. That game at Myers Reserve kicks off at 3 p.m. And how have you found the transition to Myers Reserve? It's a good club up there, isn't it? Geelong Rangers and the setup up at Myers Reserve.
Yeah, it's a great setup, and the club have been really welcoming. As having that British connection for me has been really nice. So yeah, it's all been going well so far, and we've got to do what we've got to do with the lack of facilities that we've got in Geelong at the moment, and hopefully that changes over the next few years. But it'd be nice for Galaxy to have their kind of own venue at one stage, but is what it is. I stay out of all the politics. I just worry about what happens on the pitch and get the job done in the 90 minutes.
Absolutely. Emily, thank you so much for joining us on the Geelong Region Soccer Show. As always, it's an absolute pleasure to chat to you, and we look forward to having you on the show maybe later on in the season as well.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me as well, Tonchi. And again, if anyone's got any questions about Coach Her, they can always reach out to us through the website, or even certainly happy to answer any questions. And hopefully we can increase the amount of female coaches we've got in Geelong as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Good on you, Emily. Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot. See ya.
That was Emily Sutcliffe, the Football Victoria coach, educator and coordinator. The internet connection wasn't the best, but nonetheless, we managed to get through, and we're going to take a short break. And when we return, it'll be time to wrap up tonight's episode of the Geelong Region Soccer Show. Are you too busy running your own business to worry about your financials? Allow J Hill Books to focus on your books so you can focus on your core business. Based in Lara, Geelong, J Hill Books owner, operator and senior bookkeeper Judy Hill has always worked in finance administration. The world of cloud accounting, however, means that clients can be based anywhere within Australia. Currently, J Hill Books services clients from Lara, Geelong, the Bellarine Peninsula and Melbourne. You won't need to come home from working all day and start on paperwork. You can spend your time in other productive areas such as marketing or quoting, or even better, come home and switch off. You will know how your business is tracking as often as you need, whether that is on a weekly, monthly or quarterly basis. You can be satisfied that you are meeting your legal requirements to your staff and to the ATO. And deadlines will no longer be stressful for you. Let J Hill Books take the stress out of running a small business and allow you to enjoy watching your business go to the next level. For more information, visit our website at www.jhillbooks.com.au, or better yet, call us on 0402 469 243 or email us at info@jhillbooks.com.au. And that, folks, brings us to the end of tonight's episode of the Geelong Region Soccer Show. It's our 7th episode for 2025, 157 episodes in total and going strong. And it wouldn't be the case if it wasn't for all of our advertising sponsors and our major sponsor. So big shout out once again to the Gordon, our major sponsor, our major business advertising sponsors, Curva Coaching Geelong and Just Turfing Instant Turf, and J Hill Bookkeeping, J Hill Books, our newest business advertising sponsor, and of course Ozcom Technology, who was also our episode sponsor for tonight. Thank you, folks, for being a part of Geelong Region Soccer Show this week, and we look forward to having your company again next Monday night at 8 p.m. Good night. Bye-bye.